Welcome back to Let's Look Brad channel. So this is actually part 2 of the video for the uncirculated 2023. This is going to be for the Eleanor Roosevelt quarters. We will be looking for any errors on the brand new quarters. I do actually have a stack set off to the side. This is basically nothing on here. These in this 2 row is a ton of die chips, die cracks everywhere, some DDRs on the back, nothing on the obverse, but basically DDRs on the back. I do want to, I do want to grab a couple of these quarters here and show you on here a few things that I found so far. So this one here is going to have a pretty good size straight through here. Now, and I'm not for sure exactly. One second, let me move this cell phone stand out the way. I'm not, a lot of these quarters actually are coming and see all the scratching up underneath, but the S is stamped on top of it. And if you scroll up a little bit, the A is the same way. Let's come up here a little more. The E and the L are right on top of it also. I mean, that's kind of wild. It's kind of, that's a lot of strike through error down below. The E has got a little bit on it here also. There is a ton of die cracks across these. Now, I don't think this one had anything for DDO. Let me check. Now, you got to watch too, because the machine doubling, it's actually, that is actually the top side of the N and what's making it slide. And it's all the way for the U and everything else. There's not much serif for extra tying on here. Just to double check. So yep, nothing through there. Coming along America on this side. Let's take a gander. Yeah, all right, so there's nothing much on here except for that nice little strike through there. I'm gonna hold on to it because that's unique to me. Kind of wild how they would, the blank planchet, basically whenever they set the rim on it, there's probably scratching the blank planchet and then they put it on and this happened, they stamp on top of it. So that's an interesting error. Now this one here is cool in my book too. So come on down here, let's look at the CAC. So let me put some shade on it. You can see the C is stamped on top of that. On top of that strike through area is a little bitty error right there. So that's not actually what caught my eye. What caught my eye was this C. So I'm gonna spin you around just a little bit here. Look at that doubling. That's pretty cool. That's definitely doubling. And the inside the eye actually has a little bit out here on the side of the eye. So that's definitely going to be a DDR. It might not be a major thing, you know, when folks start getting a hold of these quarters and looking at them. But yet again, that's a nice DDR for sure standing out there. As you see some of the rim damage around here when it's dropped off of the belt or dropped into the box with a ton of the other quarters. So it's definitely going to have some rim damage. I'm not seeing anything for die cracks or die chips or anything in the inside. As she has that little sole patch there on her. A little bit of damage right there on the neck where the quarter dropped on top of it. But all in all, I think that's definitely a standout quarter for a DDR for sure. But as I mentioned, I do have all of these set out that have something on it. But we do got a ton of quarters to roll through. So let me go through about 10 of these rolls, and I'll bring you in if there's any major errors or anything that stands out that you might want to look for and that I'm going to be looking for. I've only got a couple rolls actually pulled out. So these are the ones I've looked through already. These are the ones that don't have anything on it. As I mentioned, these are the ones that have a few things on it. Those are kind of a head scratcher there. I've got to double check those. I mean, I'm already double checking everything, but the luster, the way things look, it's a little tougher up under the scope with the lighting and everything else going on. And as I say, I'm guessing my eyes and reflective. Man, these coins are really beat up. It's like, you could see this. This looks like the ring of death, basically, for anybody, you know, who's been coin roll hunting long enough. Ring of death, basically, whenever you got the roll, let's just say you have the roll on top here, and then there's scratch marks that are around the rim. Basically, it goes around the rim of the roll here, and it scratches the coin. You know, that could be one way you get the ring of death on there. But look at that. It's all the way around the coin. It's, look, you can see the T and the S. It's literally stamped on top of this. It's already the damage that's already done to it. And it could, I mean, if you look, actually, the rim that's right here, this goes actually along the globe, or this, you see where it ties into? It basically stops right here where the edging stops. So it comes out, comes straight down, and it, where it would need to stop at is right there. But as you look, it's kind of like this piece right here for the rim of the globe is continuing. See, it's a little bit gap right here, but it's in the same alignment all the way around. And like I say, it's just crazy because it's so much damage on the coin. I mean, the N is right over the top of it. The C's right on top of it, the S, the T. So that's just kind of interesting. But then when you come up here to the top, you got more damage. It's just all over the coin. This is actually on the bottom side of the lettering there. You come over here, there's another big gash there. See, the T's right on top of it. There's no damage struck through the T. That's just really wild. I mean, these planters are tore up, really tore up. And another thing too, there just some uber amount of doubling on there. So if you turn it enough right here, you kind of look, you see like, well, maybe that's notched. Maybe that's notched. This right here is maybe, but if you put some shading on top of that, you can barely see. It's kind of just where it's double die or where it's drug. Let's see if we can get a little better. The A did it pretty good a while ago. See, you see it shades over. It's basically just where the A is stamped on, and it's kind of drug, and that's how I see double machine doubling. But it is all on every quarter that is in the box. It's heavy, heavy, heavy. Now, you know, there's a lot of damage on these. I'm gonna set this one here. There's a lot of damage on it, but there's a lot of little things on here that are kind of telltale that might be some extra doubling, might be an extra bit of something going on. That right there looks double to me. You definitely see the tip of the C that's right here, and it's actually curling back in. So that right there, let's get a little closer if I can. Yeah, so that right there to me looks definitely doubling on the C. And now I do have another one that's doubled on the I. The I actually comes out on the left side here and then tucks back down inside of the I. So I'm pretty sure that's a doubling portion there. But yeah, it's just tough to call with the amount of machine doubling on this. Now, as I'm going through, I'm looking for everything on the obverse, the reverse, every little nook and cranny on here, any die cracks, any die chips, you know, a little bit of damage there. Die chips, anything in the basket. You know, it's gonna be, not saying kind of funny, but being that these are... Sorry, somehow I pressed the button to stop it. But anyways, Eleanor Roosevelt, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And I thought it would be kind of funny because my area of attention majority of the time is in the face. So I'm trying to look around for any die chips, die cracks, or anything like that. You know, her little lip piece right here, that's kind of interesting because this is actually her lips. And then this right here, you know, that's on every quarter. Sometimes it's a little wider, but yet again, it would be kind of funny, not saying it funny, not funny, but if it was a huge die chip across her lips, and being that it was a human rights quarter, it'd be kind of wild. Anyhow, so this one did have that C, that extra C lip there. And then I have showed y'all a few with the, and it's all on the reverse. There's nothing really on the obverse. It's some more damage that's below there. If you come over here, check for some more. There's die cracks here and there. Some more damage below. A lot of machine doubling. Now the star itself is very, very, very vague. I'm not sure what's going on. It might be just, you know, the doubling basically, but it's almost like it's inverted. You can barely see it. I can barely touch it when it's on the quarter. Same thing down here, heavy machine doubling on the bottom here. Now, one of these quarters, if I can find it here in a second, I'll bring it back in for it. But one of these quarters actually has a pretty good size error there. I want to say it's below the CAC, but the small side of the tine of the C actually is drug back here. The top side of the C is also smushed to where it's almost up underneath the O. So this C looks like it drags all the way through the C, back around the C, and comes back out. But here in a second, I'll find it. Like I said, these I've pulled to the side because there's something on them. There's either some doubling somewhere, or, I mean, the C's, like I say, you can, it looks like it looks right there like it's actually split. But as I mentioned, that's some machine doubling. So you see what I'm saying? So it looks like, anyhow, just shaded over, definitely some machine doubling, but just taking the time to go through to try to find y'all everything that I could see in here. There's nothing on the necklace. Roosevelt, don't see any there. There's a nice little die crack there. But yep, just wanted to bring y'all in and let y'all know a little bit about these quarters, man, because once you get these in, they there is a lot of damage on them. I mean, a ton of damage on them. It's kind of wild. The Betsy Coleman's had a ton of die chips and die cracks that were basically scattered over the coin. But, I mean, this one, I mean, you can see the amount of damage that's on it. Look at the strike through area there. So strike through area there. You come back up here. This is damaged below the R. And it's just everywhere. So the planchet, basically the blank planchet before it even got to the process of being stamped, was just annihilated. All the scratches and everything on it. Might be a little tough to get a high grade out of the new 2023 Eleanor Roosevelt here. So just a lot of little, see if I can find, I guess since I got y'all here, see if I can find that CAC that's kind of pulled out. Not that one. Quite a few of them here to look through. Not that one. Let's see. Yeah, there she is. So you see what I'm saying? It's almost like the metal below this was caught up in the stamping of the CAC, but it actually drug the C further back here in the top portion there. So it may be just the metal below it that got drugged, but it could be also that whenever that got inside the press, or whenever they were using the die to smush it there, that it just kind of molded out, being that there was some metal stacked up here. So that's kind of interesting there. I pulled it off to the side. I'll definitely have it flipped up. Let's see if we can see any more damage on this one here too. Nothing to E, nothing in the scales. The S of, and I found a little bitty die chip that's right there at the end of F. It's actually in the end of F and on top of the cap here she has. Nothing on the face, little damage there. Yep, so anyhow, that CSC is just the thing that stands out. That's a pretty crazy error there. So anyhow, let's go ahead and let's keep moving along. Like I said, it's a ton more to do, a ton more to look through. I was going to bring in every 10 rolls, but this is going to take another day to even look through these, as much time as I'm wanting to take on them. Now this one's a little interesting because it's actually got some metal fill in between the M there. Got a little bit of die crack right there. If you scroll it up here to the C, there's the C again with that extra doubling on it. That's pretty cool. It seems to be the C right here that has most of the apparent damage or doubling on there. This is actually, to me, a portion of the C that actually is coming out. I'm not for sure if there's a bottom. It might be a little bit right here, as you see, peeking where it curves. So actually that C might be a little smaller and just tucked up against the inside of the C there. But there's probably something here. You definitely see that piece. And I've got another one of these pulled aside actually earlier on, the first roll that I pulled out. But yeah, just something else to look for in here. And you can see the machine doubling on these. Pretty heavy. Anyhow, on to the next one. So I was checking through the box and I actually forgot from yesterday. I saw one circulated ender on there. So it's probably going to have 2023 inside of it, but we do have some circulated coins here. Actually, these are the circulated ones. So I flipped them over, checked the enders. So we do have circulated ones there. These are the 6 unchecked rolls so far. Now I do have 2 rolls stacked up of the basic doubling of the C, doubling of the I. There's a lot of strike through errors that are on there, like the there's a couple of Qs and the Ts that have a little bit of doubling. Actually, DDR is not machine doubling on there. So quite a few rolls, and then these still need to be wrapped up in a roll also. I like using the paper ones instead of the plastic ones. They're a little more tighter, they're not as shaky. So anyhow, but we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna jump in the circulated rolls right now to get these knocked out the way. And probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually keep 3 rolls. I'm going to search the 3 more rolls and keep 3 rolls of the 2023 Eleanor Roosevelt there. So let me go ahead and jump into these. If I find anything, or bring it back in. If not, I'll run through these real quick. If I find anything, bring it back in for a wrap up. All right, I went through the circulated rolls. I pulled out a couple of bicentennial, nice 2023 Denver here in a second. I'll show you. And then I also pulled, I do not get a lot of these Philadelphia hot spring quarters. This is the first one, probably 10, 12 boxes. So I'm definitely gonna hold on to it, keep a hold. And then I also pulled a nice little silver rim, all silver Philadelphia, Georgia Peach quarter, 1999. It looks a little different than most of the silver edgings that I get. But anyhow, I'm going to hold on to it. So the Bessie Coleman here, I think this is well known for a lot of errors. Put you up here, let's see. I was moving around, checking everything, and a lot of the times they look at the initials down here. Now the FC, it could be easily doubled, and you could definitely tell that one's doubled. Let me put some shade on it. Let's see. So you can definitely see below the C, inside of the C, so you have a little bit down here and then the inside of the C there, and the F may have a little bit, yeah, probably has a little bit going on up here on the tip top. Not for sure on these, but I haven't looked it fully over, just trying to run through these 2023 Eleanors. Taking forever. No ghost fingers, no extra die chip anywhere. All right, anyhow, but over to the, so this is what I got out of the circulated stuff. I'm gonna hold on to a majority of it. Actually, throw these away. I kept 5 rolls, so I was gonna only kept 3, but I think I'm gonna give 2 of the rolls away for a giveaway coming up. I got a few things thrown together. Probably gonna do a Cheerios penny and a roll, and then the stickers and so forth, so on, a little bitty piece of silver. So that might actually happen whenever I come back. I've got to go to Missouri for a couple of days for some work, but we've got some 2023 Denver's here. This is the one I just showed you. Had this nice little piece coming out, possibly something down here. And switch over to this other quarter, to the C, and as you can see, it's got a nice little portion of what would be, I guess, a C up underneath it. But anyhow, that's pretty cool coming out there. Then we switch on over to this 3rd quarter, and then that's the major one. So that's definitely, as you see right here, coming out, comes back in, and then goes back. So pretty wild here. I'm thinking this is the one that has a little bit of the I. Could be wrong. Yeah, just on the C. So anyhow, just wanted to bring y'all in, show y'all what I was looking for the 2023 Denver quarters. They're new. I just got the box the other day, so they can't, I mean, I haven't had it too terribly long. So anyhow, looking through it, showing you what I look at. That's some of the errors that you may use for the C, for the strike through errors, for the T and the Q and stuff like that, having doubling. That's what I found so far. Just want to give you a heads up. So if you do search any 2023 Eleanor Roosevelt quarters, you'll know kind of what to look for and what to expect. Anyhow, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. You haven't subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification button for more videos to come. Y'all have a great day.